Sir, live started, sir.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Dear children. So I am Mohammad Mujib, a school assistant English at ZPSS Siripuram KG of Vairamandal. Today, I am going to deal the poem Another Woman. It's a B reading in third unit. Human relations, the theme. So in the third unit, it's a B reading. This poem is written by Imtiaz Tharkar. It's a wonderful poem. You can say that it's heart-touching. I'll give a brief introduction about poet. Imtiaz Tharkar is a well-known poet. She was born in Lahore, Pakistan, and brought up in Glasgow, Scotland. She is ranked on par with some of the famous Indian poets like Kamala Das, Sujata Bhatt, Tara Patel, etc. Her other writings are Parda, she wrote it in 1989, and Postcards from God in 1997, I Speak for the Devil in 2001, The Terrorist at My Table in 2006, and Leaving Fingerprints in 2009, and Over the Moon in 2014. So the present poem, Another Woman, in this poem, she picturizes the condition of the woman who has been tortured by in-laws. Especially, she describes the domestic violence take place in the present society. So the title, Another Woman, Another itself says it's a common thing in the society. So it happened previous, it happened yesterday, it is happening today, and it will happen tomorrow. And she also focuses on the failure of the family, in-laws family, and her husband, and also the society. So in the last stanza, the poet describes the helplessness of the protagonist, and in order to get relief from the torture, she thought that death is the only solution. So here we know that the main subject is domestic violence. We know it's a major social evil in the present society. Now then and here and there we see in print media and in electronic media also. So every day such cases and such type of things, okay, come to our notice also. So here, and the title also, it's aptly chosen because another woman ends her life, burns into flame. So let us see the lines. Another woman. In the market, choosing the freshest bunch, picked up a white radish. Imagine the crunch it would make between her teeth, the sweet sharp taste, then put it aside, thinking it an extravagance, counted her coins out carefully, tied them, a small bundle, into her sari at the waist. So here you see methi. Glossary also have presented here. Methi is a Hindi word. It's a meaning fenugreek. We can say in Telugu mentikura. It's a very cheap green leaves. Bought is a buy, past form of buy is bought, to get something by paying money for it. Crunch. Crunch means to make a loud noise. So whenever we eat a hard substance or hard thing, it makes some noise. So it is called crunch. So this morning, she bought a green methi. The woman goes to market to buy vegetables. She has chosen the finest, freshest bunch, picked up your white radish. So actually, she wants to buy radish, fresh radish, but she did not buy. Why? Because she thought that it's an extravagance. Actually, she feels the taste also, and she also imagines the sound it makes while eat. But she put it aside, thinking that it is an extravagance. So it shows that she hasn't freedom to buy the vegetable of her wish. And later, she bought methi only instead of radish because it is very cheap. Okay. And she counted coins so carefully, tied them a small bundle into her sari at the waist. So such scenes we can see in rural area. So these lines show that the woman belongs to rural area. Because now and then also we can see rural people, especially women, they put a small cloth bag at waist and they keep money in them. So this woman also, she counted very carefully the remaining coins and put them into the small bag. Here you see white radish. We know already it is like a finger shape. Extravagance, spending more than in an unnecessary things. Came home, faced her mother-in-law's dark looks, took the leaves and chopped them, her hands staying yellow from the juice, cut an onion fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove, shielding her face from heat. Here you see one or two things I want to bring to your notice. Dear children, generally when mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, so when we use them as plural. Generally, we commit some mistakes. Some students say that, mother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, father-in-laws, but it's wrong. So to use it as plural, we can say mothers-in-law, fathers-in-law, sisters-in-law. Okay. And she returned home and she faced mother-in-law's dark looks. Here, dark looks means so unfriendly facial expressions of mother-in-law. That means the anger words and scolding, like, even though she didn't commit any mistake, she had to face the dark looks, anger words of her mother-in-law, but she doesn't say anything. Simply, she took the leaves and chopped them. Chopped means, you see here, chop. Okay, so past form is there, but the present form is chop, to cut something into pieces. Okay, you can observe the onion pieces there. And she chopped them While chopping, while cutting the green leaves, methi, her hands stained yellow from the juice. We know in our houses also we can see while cutting such leaves, green leaves, methi, etc. So our hands become yellow. And she adds some onion and fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot over the stove. So here we can say we don't pronounce it as cooked. Actually, it is pronounced as cooked. Fine and cooked the whole thing in the pot. You can observe there because it's a stove, kerosene stove. Okay, the woman, by facing the heat, she is cooking. You can observe the photo also. The whole thing she put into the pot over the stove, shielding her face from the heat. One more, new word there, shield. You can see the meaning also. Shield, to protect from damage or anything danger. So while cooking, so when she sits near the stove, the heat comes. So to protect from the heat, she feels, shields her face. Next, the usual words came and beat their wings against her. The money spent. So the usual words, it shows that it's not a new thing, because these things happens frequently in that house. So the usual words from mother-in-law, the usual words came and beat their wings against her. The money spent. Actually, she did not spend money on unnecessary things. Just she bought vegetables for the family members, even though she was not able to satisfy her mother-in-law. Here one more thing I want to tell here. You see, observe the literary term, figure of speech here. So the whole words, the usual words came and beat their wings against her. So what is the figure of speech used here? The poet 2 or 3 times used the figure of speech here. So that is, do you know, children? Yes, that is personification. So what is personification? So attributing the living qualities or living characteristics to non-living things. Here, words, usual words attributed living qualities. So the usual words personified. So words beat. Actually, words do not beat, but poet used here like that. It's called personification. Wings also, like the words don't have wings, but poet used here. So the literary or figure of speech used here is that is personification. Okay, go ahead. Curses heaped upon her parents who had sent her out to darken other people's door. Here, mother-in-law cursed not only her, to her parents also. So whenever in-laws curse or abuses parents of daughter-in-law, generally it gives a lot of pain to women, to married women, to daughter-in-laws. So she cursed, mother-in-law cursed not only the woman, she also cursed the parents also. Why? Because they themselves have sent her to spoil or to dark their house. You see here, she crouched as usual on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, She did not look into his face nor raise her head, but bent her back a little more. Nothing gave her the right to speak. She crouched. Crouch means here, you see the meaning also. Crouch. Okay, to sit in this position by closing hands and legs. So whenever the women, ladies, they get disappointed, they sit like that. It indicates the miserable condition of the woman. Okay, she crouched as usual. It's not new. It's a usual thing. She crouched on the floor beside the stove. When the man came home, here the man is her husband. When husband came home, she did not look into his face, nor raise her head. Why? Because she knows that he doesn't, he doesn't support her. He is helpless person. Generally, whenever women they get disappointed in miserable condition, they expect the support of their partners, their husbands. But here, this man is helpless. He doesn't support this woman. So that's why she did not look into his face nor raise her head, but she simply bent her back a little more. Here, nothing gave her the right to speak. So this woman here has no right to speak. Okay, curse. You know, all of you know that curse. Curse means the word used for expressing anger. Okay, so what is the opposite of curse? Do you know, children? Bliss. Okay. Now you see, next. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. Here you see, so again, the poet used here the figure of speech. So flame hiss up, generally flame, you see, you can observe the photo also. So while we burn something, flame comes out. She watched the flame hiss up. Generally, flame doesn't hiss up. A living thing only can hiss up. But here, the poet attributed the living characteristic to non-living. So flame is personified. And in the same way here, the pot, old pot, okay, and here blackened cheek. Generally, pot doesn't have cheek, okay, cheeks only. The living things have cheeks. Okay, here you can observe. So the pot is personified. So here again, the poet used personification. She watched the flame hiss up and beat against the cheap old pot, a wing of brightness against its blackened cheek. Okay, and this was the house she had been sent to, the man she had been bound to, the future she had been born into. So she had to stay in that house forever, for a long time, and she had to, stay with the man who is helpless and the future which is dark. So she was unbearable. She was out of control. She wanted to get relief from this torture. Okay. See, next. So when the kerosene was thrown, just the moment of surprise, a brilliant spark. It was the only choice that she had ever known. So here she thought that she hasn't any choice except the death. So she poured, she was thrown kerosene on herself. and she burnt herself because she has the only choice, that is death. And another torch blazing in the dark. So here one more thing I want to clarify here. Generally, some students they mistake that the in-laws they burn the woman, but here the sentence, it was the only choice, shows that she burns herself. So another torch blazing in the dark, another woman. So like that, so many women, they are losing their lives. So in the same way, another woman, ends her life, another torch blazing in the dark. While she burns herself, it looks like a flame, like a blazing, torch in the darkness. And in the end, the last line of the poem, the poet held the responsibility on the society. We shield our faces from the heat. So such things happen in the society. It's common, but being the citizens of this country, of the society, what we do, we shield our faces from such incidents. Okay, that means we ignore, we don't pay any attention, we don't involve such things, we don't try to save these women. So in nutshell, I will explain the theme also. The housewife, first stanza, if you take the theme is the housewife goes to the market to buy some vegetables. She doesn't buy as per her wish, thinking that it's an extravagance. And also she is afraid of her mother-in-law's curses. Returning home, she prepares a methi curry. In second stanza, the theme is like this. The mother-in-law curses the woman for spending money on vegetables. She also curses her parents for sending her to spoil, sending her to their home to dark their house. So you see the theme of third stanza. The housewife sits obediently at the stove facing the heat. When her husband comes, she never sees him nor weighs her face because she knew that he is helpless. So in fourth stanza, she suffered a lot in in-laws' house. She had no hope of relief from the tortures. The future is seen so dark. She had only choice, that is death. So she burnt herself, but society ignores all these things. Okay, children, I hope all of you understood the poem well. Now there is comprehension. So the woman wanted to buy white radish, but put it aside, thinking that it's an extravagance. Do you think it is an extravagance? Support your answer. Okay, if possible, you can take these screenshots and later you can write in your notebook all these answers. So the usual words came and beat. What is the figure of speech used here? And next, is the woman belongs to rural or urban area? How do you say? Next, why did the mother-in-law curse the parents of the woman? Next, why did the woman crouch on the floor? It shows her okay, that's the answer. And last question, the last line of the poem talks about people shielding their faces from heat. What does the last line say? Okay. Thank you very much. And in conclusion, I want to say one thing. Children, so many things we came to learn from this poem. There is one message. Because such social evils, such things happens in our society. The main reason may be dowry are giving birth to girl child. So the death or the suicide is not the solution. So when such things happens, we must be strong. We must face such things. And as being the responsible citizens, we should not demand dowry. We should not expect dowry from brides or from women. And one more thing, whenever we see such things, we must involve, we must try to console such women, and we make whatever possibilities are there to solve such problem. Okay, I think my time also over, and I hope all of you understand this point well. And after completion of this class, you please go through the point once again, and you try to read 1 or 2 times and get what is the theme in the poem, and later you try to answer the comprehensive questions given here. Okay, okay, children, thank you very much. And in next class, because I have divided this poem into 2 parts. So in first part, I explained the poem, okay, as much as possible, because time also very, only half an hour is there. So I have class, next class, I think on 17. So in that class, I will explain you, the choreography of this poem. And I hope, I wish